China's economic triumph over Trump's trade war. When Donald Trump first took office in 2016, one of his biggest promises was to strengthen the American economy. In 2025, as he returned for a second term, he made the same pledge. However, the latest reports from the financial world tell a different story. While American stock markets are experiencing turbulence, China's markets are reaching new heights. Global investors now see China as a land of opportunity, fueled by advancements in artificial intelligence, the digital economy, and tech giants. But how did China, a country that Trump declared economic war on, emerge victorious? Let's look back at the origins of this economic battle, the beginning of the trade war. In 2018, the Trump administration launched a trade war against China, arguing that China was exporting far more than it was importing and was also violating American intellectual property rights. In response, Trump imposed high tariffs on Chinese goods, initially targeting $50 billion worth of imports. Beijing retaliated, triggering a growing economic conflict between the two nations. Despite Trump's aggressive policies, the trade war did not weaken China as expected. By 2024, China's financial markets had not only stabilized but had even outperformed those of the United States. China's economic resilience. Several factors contributed to China's financial success. 1. Investor confidence. China's strong growth potential attracted significant investments into its stock market. 2. Digital currency. The development of China's digital currency proved to be a game changer in global finance. 3. Tech industry boom. Leading technology firms such as Alibaba and Tencent helped propel the stock market forward. A key moment was Alibaba founder Jack Ma's reappearance and meeting with President Xi Jinping, signaling strong government support for private enterprises. 4. Government stimulus. The Chinese government introduced comprehensive stimulus packages, including interest rate cuts and targeted support for technology and real estate sectors. 5. Foreign investment. China's economic stability and technological advancements drew the attention of major global investors. Pharmaceutical giant AstraZeneca, for instance, announced plans to establish a new research facility in China. The stock market shift. China's financial markets surge ahead, with the CSI 300 index tracking the biggest firms in Shanghai and Shenzhen, rising by 5.2%. The MSCI China Index by 28%, and the Seng Index by 26%. In contrast, U.S. markets suffered losses. S&P 500 fell by 6.3%. Dow Jones dropped by 4.4%. Nasdaq plummeted by 10.8%. For the first time, China emerged as a serious economic competitor to the United States. Why did U.S. markets struggle? The trade war had unintended consequences for American businesses. Tariffs and economic uncertainty hurt investor confidence, leading to a decline in consumer spending and increased fears of recession. Meanwhile, China continued investing heavily in emerging industries, such as artificial intelligence and semiconductor production. One of China's rising AI firms, DeepSeek, launched a chatbot capable of competing with ChatGPT, despite having a much smaller budget of $6 million. China's influence also extended into the electric vehicle sector. Chinese automaker BYD surpassed Tesla in the Chinese market and expanded its operations in Europe. The Hang Seng Tech Index rose by 35% since Trump's return to office, highlighting China's dominance in technology. The global economic shift. According to financial expert Tao Wang, China's equities have become a safe haven amid global instability. He sees this as evidence that the U.S. is no longer the world's sole economic superpower, but part of a multipolar financial world. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has downplayed concerns. White House Press Secretary Caroline Litt described the market fluctuations as a temporary phase, arguing that the economy is transitioning from the chaos of the Biden era. However, investment strategist Richard Harris sees it differently, stating that America's strong economic run is ending, while China is showing signs of recovery. China's strategy against U.S. pressure. Instead of crumbling under U.S. economic pressure, China adapted by boosting domestic consumption to reduce reliance on exports, expanding trade agreements with Asia-Pacific nations, investing in high-tech industries and financial markets. China's resilience helped its stock market thrive, attracting even more global investors. The ongoing trade dispute. Despite China's economic rise, tensions between the two nations remain high. The Trump administration recently increased tariffs on Chinese imports to 20%, citing Beijing's alleged failure to curb the flow of fentanyl-related chemicals into the U.S. China, a major supplier of fentanyl precursors, has denied responsibility for America's drug crisis and accused Washington of weaponizing trade policies. Negotiations between the two governments have stalled, with Chinese officials expressing frustration over what they see as inconsistent messages from Washington. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ma Ning urged for dialogue and consultation on the basis of quality and mutual respect, but warned that China would retaliate against arbitrary economic pressure. Meanwhile, Trump remains firm in his stance. Speaking before a cabinet meeting on February 26th, he stated, "We will have a good relationship with China, but they will not take advantage of us." What lies ahead? China's long-term goal is to reach a stable trade agreement with the U.S. Some experts believe that opening China's markets to more American exports could be a win-win situation. However, economic challenges persist on both sides. While U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent describes China's economy as the most unbalanced in the world, economist David Rowe argues that the real issue is America's own spending policies and trade deficit. Conclusion: who won the trade war? The trade war launched by Trump was meant to weaken China, but instead, it has strengthened Beijing's economic position. Despite U.S. pressure, China has emerged more resilient, gaining investor confidence and solidifying its role as a global financial powerhouse. So, has Trump's trade war backfired on the U.S.? Or will America find a way to regain its dominance in the long run? Share your thoughts in the comments below.